sending the $100 to send the process the court fee, because they finna get way more than that because the people are not showing up for court. But to make a long story short, so you remember I was calling you from the courthouse and told you that I was at my second case, and I went in there, did everything we had said was gonna do, and they needed more time because I requested for debt validation. I requested some more information, so they needed more time, and the judge awarded them more time. So that more time was yesterday. Day before yesterday, and so went to court. So before, the tricky part is that before I went to court Tuesday, they called me last Thursday. The attorney called me last Thursday. Now, I went ahead and got me an attorney because I found out I could get one free. But even if people don't have money to get an attorney, or they don't qualify for one free, they really don't need one still. But I wanted to ante up because I'd never been through the second step of the process.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and got an attorney, and he agreed to. I sat down and talked to him. He said, "Oh, this easy shut case." He said they can't. Number one, he said they're not allowed to garnish me because of my financial situation. So he said that's just totally open and shut.
And wait, hold on 1 second too. It did not say that from early at the beginning.
Yes, you said that. On the first case, you said that. That's why they was like, "Okay, case closed." So I was like, "Case closed."
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. You said that.
Yeah.
And that attorney confirmed that.
Okay.
When I sat down and talked with him 2 weeks, he said, "There's no way. He's no judge." He said, and he was making it seem like it's illegal that they do that. So anyway, he was like, they're not going to do it. And so anyway, they didn't. So when I talked to him, he said, "I'm going to meet you in court." And he said, "I'm going to try to grab their attorney before he can go there." Again, they sent they sent the head chief up in there for the second case, the second setting.
Hold on. Not sorry to interrupt you. I think that they do that. And hold on, I want to just record our audio. I think that they do that because I remember. I don't know if you saw my video. I talked about that when I went through my situation from a credit card back in 1988. That once I started doing the validation the right way, or just asking certain questions that I didn't even know were important, that it ended up making the main attorney come to do the arguing. And I think that that's because they're the ones that's fronting the money to buy all of this debt. And if nothing happens, they want to be the one that, makes that final decision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, so, and that's it. And it's also a little intimidating to have, say, night attorneys, and then who's in the courtroom night.
Night.
Wow. But I just still remain prayerful. And one thing I just kept in mind was, I'm a person just like they're a person. This courtroom seems very intimidating. A lot of people get afraid that, if I go in here, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have no attorney. I'm scared. I've never been. So if you just show up, you already halfway there.
Exactly.
If you don't even know what to say, you can come in there stumbling like, I don't even know what to do, Your Honor. If you just show up, you're going to get some leniency.
Yeah, you'll get something. And I tell people to do that. Like, don't go in there trying to be something that you're not. Go in there with legit, hey, I got questions about this. I want to, I'm not understanding this. And they don't expect you to understand everything. So they'll allow you if you're saying it the right way. And when I say the right way, that doesn't mean like you got to be some smart person or use all of these different, professional words and terminology. It's just that you state your reasons for having questions about everything that's happening to you. And if you do it the right way, the judge will actually start asking or help you with asking questions to those plaintiff attorneys.
Yes, and you go in there sounding like an attorney. They're going to let you know that they are the attorneys and judges.
Yeah.
So you can go in there with, like, I know more than y'all according to section 1675.
That don't work.
Go in there if you want to. They're going to be like, "Oh, so you came to play with the big boys." I'm going to show you that you're not one of the big boys. And you could lose just because you come in there with the wrong attitude. You just go in there as humble as you know, and if you really don't know what's going on, just say, "Hey, Judge, I don't even know. I really don't remember this debt, and I just need some more information." You can say it little as that, and the judge will be like, "Okay, well, let's just," and they will kind of work with you. They don't make you go in there trying to quote laws and section numbers, and all, because they know you don't know that.
Absolutely.
And so before the second setting of the second case, I was a little angry because I was like, Your Honor, why am I having to come back a second setting? Here I am. It's difficult for me to walk long distances. It's difficult for me to get to the court. Why? And they have proof. They sued me, so they should have the proof to go ahead and process. Why am I having to wait another 2 months? And he was like, I understand, but everybody gets a chance of a continuance in the first setting. So from my understanding, it doesn't matter. If they wanted a continuance, you can get a continuance and the attorney get a continuance.
Yeah.
So I said, once I understood that, I said, okay, whatever. So then they called me last Thursday, the attorney called me. This is where the monkey wrench got put on me.
Uh-huh.
He said, "Hey, Ms. Perkins," and I didn't answer the phone call, but I did return. He said, "Bless you." He said, "This is so-and-so from Knight calling," and I was trying to reach you, Ms. Perkins. This is after I had sent a cease and desist letter, but I did not cease and desist communication. Okay, I cease and desist. I put the cease and desist for written. For
voice. Yeah.
Via voice. I said, but if you need to reach me, you can still communicate, because I want to be able to communicate with them too. It's best to do that. So they actually called me, and I was like, well, this is new. So I called my attorney. I said, they're calling me, and I don't know if I should call. He said, look, you can call them back and just give them my number and name. I said, well, I'll do that. He said, you don't have to go into no detail. Just call and say, hey, you guys called me. I just need to give you my attorney's number who's representing me. So I called them back. And I said, yes, sir, I just got a phone call from you all. And he said, okay, yes, Ms. Perkins. Oh, who's just calling to let you know that the case is going to be closed. And on our end. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, we're closing the account on our end. He said, we received your hardship request. And I said, I didn't send a hardship request. But what I did send was the proof of my income. I did not deny or agree that the debt was mine. But I did show them, look, this is my income. I really don't, you guys have not validated the debt. This is my income. I'm unaware of the debt. So I'm trying to figure out what else do you need to show that if you can't prove this to me that it's mine, here's something to show you that you're probably not going to get it anyway, because this is my income. And so he said something about a hardship request.
Yeah.
I didn't say thank you for approving my hardship request, because then that would make it seem like I accepted the debt, but now I can't pay it. I just simply let him talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, yeah.
Because I knew it was a recorded line. So I said, I just reiterated what he said at the beginning of the conversation. I said, so you said you're closing the case on your end? He said, yes. And so I waited. I said, okay, so this is Thursday, and the court date is Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And so I told my attorney said, well, that's excellent. I said, well, look, let's just keep an eye on the docket, because what if my name still pops up?
Absolutely.
Say, look, we're going to send you a letter today, and we're notifying the courts today that, this is dismissed and everything. And I waited for the letter. No letter showed up. So then the day of the court, I told my attorney, he said, look, let's just meet up, because your name is still on the docket. And I'm thinking, I said, don't worry. He said, you don't have to come down here. I said, I'm coming.
I'm coming, yeah.
I said, I'm coming. So I get down there, my attorney standing outside. He had just finished talking with the attorney. We all were getting ready to go in the next 5 minutes. So my attorney looks at me. He said, hey, Ms. Perkins, well, look, I'm done pretty much, because I don't even have to go sit through proceeding. I just talked to him. He just showed me on his little notepad that he has it set for, hardship to just do a non-suit dismissal type thing. And he said, but, that's it. He said, and I said, so you're not going to stay going to the courtroom? Let me tell you what I did. I told him, I said, listen, you're free to go, attorney. I said, if that's what you so choose. I didn't pay him no way. But anyway, I said, but I'm going to stay. He said, you going to stay? I said, yeah, because if they call my name in there and he noticed that nobody's there representing me, who's to say that he's going to follow through with what he jotted down on his paper?
Absolutely.
So I said, he said, you going to stay? He said, well, I'm going to then. What do you say? He introduced me to the other attorney. And he just simply said, this is my client. She's just going to stay for proceedings, kind of follow it through. And he's like, okay. So went on in the court, sat down like everybody else. And sure enough, first of all, my name was on the document. It wasn't supposed to be on the document, but it was. And sure enough, the judge called my name. The file was sitting in front of her. She called my name, and he looked around to see if he saw me.
See?
Let me know.
See?
If he didn't see me,
Default judgment. Default judgment.
My attorney wasn't around. And then I hesitated to stand up. And then I stood up and the judge said, are you Miss Perkins? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, come on up to the front. So then I was able to come on up. And I didn't even say anything. He just went on and said, this is non-suit dismissal. And she said, okay, you're free to go.
See? And now just...
in there, Steve, if I had not been there, they would have got a default judgment.
Exactly. I was making some notes, but to show you that they were going to do the default judgment is that the judge knew nothing about what they were going to do. So, like, you would think that as soon as the judge would have opened it up, like when the judge called your name, they were like, hey, well, let's talk about this case. Usually, if it's gonna be dismissed or anything, they would have that note on top. Their staff would put that note on top because these judges, they want to get through all of this stuff as fast as possible. So anything changes or anything, they would have been like, this is what we're going to discuss now, so we don't have to rehash anything else. And when she opened, or he or she, the judge opened that file, they thought it was just business as usual. It was going to, yeah. Now,
and my attorney, when he left, and I'm thinking, it's one of those community-based things we have here in the city, where if you can't afford an attorney, then they have these different groups set up, and if your income level is a certain amount, then they will accept you.
Yeah.
And so that's what he took the case because he knew it was easy, so he could put it on his little to-do list that these are the cases. I probably just was another number in his quota.
And he thought it was easy, but he didn't. He wasn't going to do the full follow through though.
Because I asked him, I said, because what I did, I went into his office with paperwork already. I said, the debt validation letter I had sent, the request for information I had already sent to them. And he's like, wow, can I get a copy of this?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? He didn't, for a debt specialist attorney, it's different than a bankruptcy attorney, or debt relief attorney, which is the category that most of them fall into. I barely have contacts across the United States that are actually educated in doing what you did for yourself with the validation. They usually get everyone focused on going into bankruptcy. But let me go through something with you that because I was taking some notes, and I talk about it in my videos about the hardship requests that people can make, even though you didn't make it. But that's a solution. Like when I tell people not to be afraid about going into court, to write down potential ways that you can resolve what you're facing, and then you just go into court, or you speak with the debt collection attorney or their staff, whoever you're going to end up talking to, and that these are different options that are available that people don't even think about. Like they don't, a lot of people don't know that you could actually do a hardship even before it goes into, before it goes into collection. It's required by law, every lender has to have a hardship department, but they don't have to reveal it to you that they have a hardship department. And then he outright said, hey, we're gonna dismiss this on a hardship, because that's the legal way that they're able to discontinue going after a debt. And then with the docket where your name was still on there, and the attorney said that the plaintiff attorney said you do not have to show up. We're gonna do this. They said all of that stuff. They lied. They basically lied. So yeah. So you have to you have to go there regardless, even if you just stand up and they just say dismiss. And but that people have to do that.
You know, you have to take. This is your name. This is your credibility. This is you. It's not the onus is not back on the attorney. It's not on the attorney, the collector or the collection company or their attorney. It's on you. Your name is in front of the judge. So at the end of the day, if don't nobody show up for you, show up for yourself.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I learned that if you just show up for yourself, and that's in life. If ain't nobody supporting you, support yourself. If you gotta show up for yourself, and I just said, you know what, I wasn't actually feeling well that day, but I said I made it all the way down here downtown. I'm standing in front of the door where the judge is. You think I'm just about to jump in my car and leave? I said no. I said if it is okay, I am going to just sit in here, if at all, just to see how she was operating. This is another judge. See how she was handling some of the other people. Everybody in there was having to pay. They was having to pay. And she even looked at one lady and said, it was Midland funding. She said, wow, this is a large amount. You know, I don't know how much that lady owed. She didn't really say how much she owed. But because Midland's attorney wasn't there, and nor was Midland there, she did the order to the lady. Now, I had never seen that done. She said, well, listen, she said, are you going to be able to make your payments regularly? And the lady said, yes, Your Honor. And she started her payments in January. There was no representative of Midland.
Oh, man, that's whoa. That's crazy.
Like, the lady was standing, the lady just was like, yes, ma'am. She said, okay, well, I'm going to start you January she said, what kind of job? She asked what her job was. She worked for a lawn service.
Whoa.
She didn't know she was the owner of the lawn service. That's a whole other ballgame. She said she worked for so-and-so lawn and care, and so she agreed to pay. And it was as if, because it looked like the file got put in the wrong docket time, because everybody in there was with Knight Cooper, Barclay Bank, you know, and so that Midland probably for a later time in the day. But she went ahead and, I mean, I'm thinking, so if the people weren't there, only because the lady didn't know her rights. And I was like, what kind of judge do I have up here?
That's great, yeah.
I just thank God that, you know, the guy that I did the steps beforehand. So if I had done the steps beforehand, I would have been up in there trying to litigate with the judge and the man by myself. But because, you know what, I sent that letter to let the attorney know, hey, I'm here to fight. What do you need from me? You need something from me? I'll give it to you. What you need, I'll give you. But I'm here to fight. You got to prove to me that I owe this debt. You need to prove to me. And that's what my attorney kept saying. Well, the onus of proof is on them. They have to prove. You know, they have to prove. So they knew they couldn't prove anything. So
and that's crazy and I see that a lot where the judge, and it's probably subconscious, where they're so used to people just not doing, you know, taking their rights and coming to court, that when they do get someone that comes in and they don't say anything about their rights, that they just fall in line with the debt collection attorney. And that's because it's just like seeing a friend all the time. They see them every day, and they see people like us, you know, every once in a while. So they'll, in a way, they assisted them, even if it was put in the wrong docket time. That individual could have asked for dismissal just because you have a right to, you know, to get that information. And to have the other side have to show up. Like, that would have just been the opposite of your situation, where if you didn't show up, they would have got the default. And the flip side of that is that didn't show up. At minimum, they would have just said, well, we need to schedule this for another date because the court made a mistake. rather than that debt collection company making a mistake. But it could have, and you don't know. We don't know. Maybe it was set for that time. We don't. None of us know. And maybe they didn't show up, and they know that the judge will take care of business for them, which she did, the way that you're explaining it.
She did. You said something that's very key. They see these people every week. So
they become friends.
Every week. So they know these people every week. And the amount of debt buyers out here is ridiculous. The amount of cases they hear. When I look at the wall, when you go to court, this is my first time, or preferably my last time, having to go through this process. But for the past 2 to 3 months, I've been dealing in these courts. And when you go into the courts, and when it's case time, trial time or whatever it's time you go, all of the cases are on the wall. It's for public, public record. And so I'm looking, so I just went and studied some of them. I was just standing there looking, and I'm thinking, look, it's like 25 Barclay cases. Then the next at 1:30, it's like 30 Midland cases. Now, this is just Memphis. Can you imagine what they're doing across the country? I mean, it's like, I'm thinking this is a lot. And if 90% of them win, they've won hundreds of thousands of dollars every week.
That they bought for pennies. That they bought for pennies on the dollar. That they buy them for pennies on the dollar. There's, on some of my videos, I put, I get that list from the companies that sell the debt, and they sell millions of dollars worth of debt for, 50 cents on the dollar. And so their game, their business model is to buy that debt, and then they invest. They're going to have to invest money to take you to court. So it is an investment on their part. And then they're just playing like they're at the gambling table on who's not going to show. But we see that 99.9% of the people don't show. And then the next step is going to be to go to garnishment. And even if they can't get them in garnishment, the way that the game is, the way that, in their favor, because of how many people don't show up, and the majority of the people are working regular jobs, they're going to get garnishment. And so they want to just have as many monthly payments coming in. They're maximizing, their investment. Now, before I let you go, I think, aren't you doing something on YouTube? I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that so we can have people see you, or am I wrong about that?
No, actually, it's still in the works. I have a website that I'm revamping right now, so you'll be able to reach me at ConniePOnline.com, and then it'll roll over into my YouTube and everything. So I'll be ready to venture out into that a little bit more come 2020.
Okay, so we do some joint promotions on that. Like I can send people your way.
Yes. So I'll just say this for takeaways. Number one, just show up. If you just show up, that's number one. Number two, ask questions as if you were talking to a friend. It does not matter. You have to just be a normal person asking questions. If you don't know, ask questions. My mom always said there's no dumb questions if you don't know the answer. So just ask questions. And if you have a hardship, don't be afraid to tell the judge, because they will acknowledge that. You cannot get blood from a turnip, as my grandmother would say. You cannot do it. So if you just, let them know your financial hardships. And then finally, show up for yourself. If you don't know what to say, what to do, you've never been to court, just show up and represent yourself. And when I mean represent yourself, you don't have to be an attorney. Just show up.
Yeah.
When they call your name, it's like kindergarten. When they call your name, Steve Williams, I'm here. As long as you're there, you have almost half beat the battle.
Yeah,
so,
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
They were trying to pull the wool over my eyes on this one, but something in my spirit just kept saying, you know what, no, just stay to the end. Stay till you hear that judge say, my attorney bailed on me. Everybody, it seemed like I'm thinking, and he bailed because he's saying all they can do is right. But don't trust anybody to do what's right for you when you can stand up, when you have the ability to stand up for yourself.
Just a few more minutes to wait for your name to be called. It would stop a whole nother situation from materializing, which would have been a default judgment. But just a few minutes.
10 minutes. That's all it was. 10 minutes before my name was called. From the time I sat down to 10 minutes later, that's when my name was called. It took approximately 15 seconds from my name being called to that case being dismissed from me walking out of that courtroom. So it's worth it. It's worth it to do.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time. And make sure you get us those websites and stuff, and because we want to make sure that whatever you're doing in 2020 is successful. And thank you for responding. First, thank you for making your comments on my YouTube channel and sharing the information with people, and helping people and letting them know that you do have rights, and that anyone can fight for themselves. That all you have to do is just stand up. And I really appreciate you sharing that, because, I say it, but, I think sometimes, we know when they hear from someone that actually went through it, someone else that went through it, because I went through it myself too, but someone else that went through it, it helps validate the information and helps them, know that regardless of what you're facing, that there's always options and solutions that can, come about.
Yes, indeed. Well, you're welcome, right. And it's my pleasure.
All right. Thank you. You have a great day.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. We just finished that, and that was someone that had looked at one of my YouTube videos. And I'm in this because I just finished working out, and I got a message from Connie to give her a call. But always think about your rights, because even if you lose, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case is that you could lose. That's it. That's the worst thing. So why not fill in all the gaps in between? And that's what she did, and I congratulate her. She followed through. Everything started with submitting information on her first one. This is the second one. On the first one, when we submitted when she submitted the information that I told her to do, which was just basically a phone call, they dismissed that case. They told her that was going to be dismissed. As soon as she went to court and they called her name, they said dismissed. This one, you can see that they tried to play a little game, but it was still going to be dismissed. But if she didn't show up to court, it wouldn't have been dismissed. So that's why you have to follow through. You even heard her say from an attorney, oh, you don't have to show up. You do got to show up. So what if her and the attorney didn't show up? They would have got a default judgment. And when they would have went back into court, the judge would have been pointing the finger at her attorney, and the judge would have been pointing the finger at her. And the only remedy she would have really had was to pay to reopen the case. She would have to pay to appeal it. She would have to pay money to appeal it, and then she would have to pay for that attorney to actually show up if she wanted to use that same attorney for the appeal. It would have just been crazy. And they would have went off of that default judgment. It would have been really hard to fight, because once it's a default judgment, and even if you do the appeal, part of it is going to be, why didn't you show up to court? It would have just been a bigger mountain to jump over, but all she did is she stayed 10 minutes later. They called her name, and then she stood up, and they said that it was dismissed, and the judge did not have the information that it was going to be dismissed, so it was going to be business as usual. So please, if you listen to this, listen to this video again, because it's more than just trying to come up with new videos for you to watch and new content. It's more about you listen to stuff over and over again, because when you listen to stuff over and over again, the next time that you hear it, you're going to hear something else that you're not aware of the first time that you listen to something or the first time that you watch something. So do that, and then solutions will come to you. Different options that will come to your mind. Even things that we maybe didn't say in this video, different solutions will pop into your mind that, with my situation, maybe I can say this in court. And again, it's not about being some smart professional in court. It's about just going there as a normal, average person and saying, I don't recall this, or I don't remember this, and I never did business with them. Can you get me all of the documents? Stuff like that. That's very simple things. And the thing about it is that they have to provide it. They have to prove it. And then if you find yourself in a situation like she was, even though they didn't have other information, they just basically wanted to just push it off on a hardship where they knew that they wasn't going to get anything. But still, even with that, you still could have got this whole thing dismissed because they wasn't able to provide all of the information. So if you need help, please reach out to thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the videos here on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. The links are below here. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to www.your3scores.com. That's where everything starts. That's how you can see how the debt collectors or the original creditors, what they're saying about a specific debt that you have that you might be facing when you go to court. Make sure that you respond to your court summons, because if she didn't respond to her court summons, it would have made a lot of this stuff harder, because they would have told the judge that she was not even in communication with them. So make sure. Again, thank you. Post your comments. Thank you to Connie for participating in this recording. And I want everyone to have a great day. Until next time.